for a $50 super chat. Let's take this one from Reed P, who asks, what do you love about FPV? Do you still love doing this full time? What keeps you going? What content wouldn't you produce anymore if you were to win the lottery? Tough questions, I know. Just wanted some reflection. Well, thank you for a $50 super chat. I will indulge you. Thank you for your donation. You know, as I have gotten to this stage of my YouTube career, I make less content that is like feeding the algorithm, and focus more on content that like legitimately interests me. So like I like product reviews really pay the bills. Not literally, like I don't literally get paid to do product reviews. Bardwell finally admits he's paid to do product reviews. No, that's not what I mean. But like when you do a product review, then you put affiliate links underneath the video, and then if it's a good product and it's a positive review, people buy the product, and then you make affiliate income, and that's one of my major sources of income. Also, it's not as much as it used to be because the industry has changed, but in addition to that, people really like product reviews. People like product reviews. They just do. I watch reviews of laptops that I'm not in the market for a laptop. I'm just curious to see what's going on in the world of laptops. I watch car reviews for cars that I will never buy just because I like watching Thomas and James, you know, do what they do. Throttle House, right? Yeah, you know what Throttle House. So I make more excuse me, sorry. Terribly rude. More products that I'm legitimately interested in, and not to say that I ever did reviews of like products that I like wasn't interested in. There is a graveyard of products over the course of the last 10 years where manufacturers sent me a product that they thought I might want to review, and maybe I even sort of indicated that I would review it. And then when I got it, it just sat on a shelf. And every time I thought about making a video about it, I was just like, nah. And then I didn't, which is, some would say, irresponsible, bordering on unethical, but it is what it is. So I never did reviews of products that I sincerely just thought were dumb or weren't interested in. I just left those on the shelf. But there definitely were times when I was like, oh boy, another 5-inch quadcopter, and like, okay, well, people will be into this. It'll make a good video. Let's see. Let's give it a shot. Let's talk about, you know, what's new on this. Whereas I might today just be like, meh, I don't want to. Do I still love doing this full time? Yes, absolutely. Love it. Love it. Would not even like if I like, you know, as the drone industry changes. You know, we've seen the drone hobby and the drone industry change a lot in the last 5 years or so. Regulations came in, remote ID came in, and that had an effect. Some people left the hobby. It had an effect on sales. It had an effect on YouTube algorithm, YouTube views, and so forth. Now we have this bleed over into the military use of drones, which is giving people, you know, it's affecting how people see the hobby and how people participate in the hobby. And certainly there's arguments that the way that YouTube FPV content is made today is different than it was. And if I were to look at that and go, yeah, I think I'm going to, you know, do something else. I feel like if I were to go into a job interview, the first thing I would say is like, I have this YouTube channel and I'm going to keep making YouTube content. And that's just a condition of me taking the job. You know, I might make, like less content. You know, if you look at Stinger Swarm was a full-time YouTuber for a while. He doesn't post as much as he used to. He has a job that he's doing, and but he still comes out and posts every now and then. Like I assume he has a job he's doing. He's not posting enough on YouTube to be making a full-time income from YouTube. So presumably he's got a job that he's doing somewhere, but he still comes around and posts. You know, when there's something interesting going on. So like. I definitely love doing it full time. Even if I did something else part time, I would still be doing this part time. what do I love about FPV? My favorite thing, so obviously, well, maybe it doesn't go without saying, I love flying FPV drones, right? It's so satisfying to just get in the air and fly. And every time I do that, every time I manage to get together with folks at a race or just hanging out, freestyling is my absolute favorite. You know, you go to a race, you have a good time. There's a lot of people there. It's fun, but also at a race, there's a little bit of stress, you know, because you're racing. And, oh, the next heat is up. Am I ready? I got to charge a pack. You know, whereas when you just go out and freestyle, it's just completely relaxed. You're having a good time, you know. And there's only as much stress as you want. If you're like, hey, I wonder if I could get this trick. Yeah, you go for it, you know. But it's mostly just a good, fun experience hanging out with the dudes. Yeah, obviously I love flying FPV vehicles, drones, aircraft, etc. And I love helping people. I love, you know, my favorite thing, and the reason I got into this was about a desire to help people solve problems, you know, to get people over the learning curve of FPV, and I still love that. And anytime, you know, because you know, you're up in the middle of the night and you think, well, is this what I want to do for the rest of my life, or is there something else that I want to do with my life, you know? And I think that helping, the desire to help people solve problems, you know, and enjoy a hobby or a career, you know, I would still want to do that. And if I, like, someday was just like, screw drones, screw FPV, I don't want to do this anymore. Well, that means I would just have to start from scratch in some other domain, trying to become a trusted expert who helps people solve problems. And it would seem, I mean, obviously, sometimes people just decide to reshape their whole life, you know, and just move to a different country and have a different career and have a whole second stage to their life. And then like, oh yeah, didn't you used to be a famous writer and now you're, you know, I don't know, whatever. But it just seems in a way like that would be kind of a waste, because I would still want to do the same thing, get the satisfaction of helping people, solving problems, and I would just have to start from scratch with some other domain. But, you know, what would happen if that were to happen? Here's how it would play out. You know, now I'm just thinking it through. Just like one day I just got super interested in RC aircraft and drones and FPV, and I just was like, oh, that's so cool, I want to do this. And then slowly became an expert and then became a content creator. Like, who knows if one day I'll just be like, oh my God, look at this new thing that I'm super interested in, you know? Like, I look at Schizo. A lot of you guys don't know who Schizo is. He's a FPV pilot from way back in the day. And he still, I'm pretty sure he still flies FPV every now and then. I think he got super into pinball cabinets and restoring and maintaining pinball cabinets. And he was doing live streams about pinball. And then I think he got into like big 3D planes or helicopters, you know? And so, like, someday maybe something else out there will catch my interest and I'll just be like, this is my new passion. And then I'll just be the Bardwell of that, because that's just who I am. Thank you for the donation, Reed, and I hope you enjoyed the answer.